Hello everyone. Today I am going to teach you one of the most useful applications for the penetration testing in the stage of data gathering. As you know, data gathering is called to that stage of penetration testing which you need to gather some data about your victim before you start the hacking. After data gathering, you can go for vulnerability scanning to know what are the weaknesses on this system. After that, you look for the exploits which are written already for this vulnerability. So you cannot directly start attack. You need to start it from data gathering. One of the best applications that we are usually using is Nmap. Yes, Nmap is the open source application, is short for network mapper, and is for network exploration, is security scanning and auditing. There are different options in Nmap which you can use it when you want to start your data gathering. Okay, we go with the first option. You can have Nmap space IP address. Because I'm using virtual machine now, so I give my host with IP address 92.196.168. What was the IP? 1241. Okay. So this is simply it will scan this single IP address. If you want to have the multiple IP address or a subnet scanning, I stop this. You can go for Nmap 192.168 is an example. That's 1.241. Let's say you have another one 192.168.1.1. Simply you just add all the IPs here and press the enter. It's gonna work. Or you can do it another way. Nmap 192.168.1.1 and you want 1.2 and you want 1.3. This is another way which is gonna work. You can also scan a range of IP addresses. You can go for Nmap 192.168.1.241 slash dash, let's say 245. So you're gonna have 4 IPs going to be scanned, starting 241, ending to 245 in the last octet. Or you want to have all the IPs which are 192.168 and 1 being scanned. So you just go with Nmap 192.168.1 star. So a star stands for 1 until 255. It's going to scan all the range. Or you want to do a subnet. So just go for Nmap 192.168.1.0 and is IP class C. So we are going to use the subnet 24. Okay. Another way you can do is you can create a cat file. You can write a text file if you want to make it automatic. So you can just cat it into a, let's say we keep it in the etc, and let's say we call it nmap.txt. Sorry. And you can give it data. You can say you want this IP range be scanned, and you want this IP range, and whatever you want. and you can end it with Ctrl Z and it will keep it. So you can go to the drive. Here we can go to okay, you can see this file exists, so you can use it for your Nmap. You can just give it Nmap -I capital L, look into this file, and use it for your scanning. You can use it when you are doing some scripting if you don't want to do it manually, so it's a very good perfect way. Or you can scan a large number of host network. You can exclude it host from a scan, so you can just do this nmap 192.168.1.0 subnet 24 and exclude this IP. Or you can add other IPs after exclude by using a comma here. Or you can use same way I just said. You can just use the nmap -I capital L one file, let's say the one we create, nmap.txt space, and for the exclude also you can give him another file. I didn't create any other one, let's say .txt. So the second one will be excluded from the first one. Next option I'm going to talk to you about is for turning on the OS and version detection scanning script. So this is going to tell you what is your victim operating system and the version of this operating system. It will be useful when you are searching for the vulnerability, because different operating system, or let's say different applications, they have different vulnerability, and also depend to the version of you're using, have a different vulnerability. Some versions being patched already, so you cannot use it for attack. Let's say if you are talking about the VLC player, the older versions, it was very simply you could use it for a lot of exploiting, but the newer version they patch a lot of those vulnerabilities. So it's very important you know which vulnerability you're using for. Then you can only go for the finding the exploit. Otherwise your exploit won't work because it's not written for that vulnerability, for that version, because that version doesn't have that vulnerability. We are going to do nmap -A and your IP. Okay. Another one I'm going to teach you is to find out if your host network is protected by firewall or not. This is very useful. We usually use it in university because we have firewall there. Some of the options didn't work, so we just used simply this option, nmap -A and then the IP. Okay. Or you can give him a domain. You can give him nmap -SA a domain, let's say www.yahoo.com. Okay, that is the information you can find. Another option, we are going for scanning a host when is protected by a firewall, not just to find out it's protected. You know it's protected and you want to scan the host. So we are going to use this. Sometimes you use simple options like just nmap 192.168.1.1. If it's protected by firewall, the firewall is going to block your nmap, so it's not gonna work. It gives you the wrong information. Even if the host is up, it will show you down because of the firewall. But this option is very useful. You can use nmap -P, then give him the IP. Okay, Let's say you are using Nmap on a IP version 6. As you know, IP version 4 already been finished few months back, and the new is being used as IP version 6. So in the future you need to use a lot of commands which put IP version 6 in it, so you can start getting used to it. You can go for Nmap. To mention is IP version 6, only simply put -6 and then just put the IP version 6 or put the link address or whatever you want here. Next option I'm going to teach you is scanning a network and find out which servers and devices are up and running. This is known as a host discovery or ping scan. Go for Nmap -S capital P 192.168.10/24. There are a lot of options for Nmap. I took all of these from the website CyberCity, which they arrange all these good options, and I found them good taste, so I'm explain you all of these options that been mentioned there. So that is the output you're getting here. Let's say you are in rush and you want to have the fast scan. So just go for Nmap, F standing for fast, should be capital F, and then give him the IP. This is the fastest scan. You can see my port 53 is open and my port 514 is open. This is my shell and my domain. Let's say you want to display the reason a port is in a particular state. So you just go for Nmap reason 192.168.1.1. Next option would be if you want to see which ports are open in your victim system. To attack a system, you need to know the open ports, because when your victim is using application, this application opening a port, and the open port will help you to know what application he's using. If the port 80 or 88 is open, you know he's using a web address. If the port like 139 is open, you know it's a NetBIOS, and etc. So we are going to do Nmap --open and then the IP address. It shows you the open ports or the possibly open ports. Means maybe it's open, maybe it's not open, but we don't know for sure that it's closed. Or you want to see all the packets being sent and received. So you can just simply go for Nmap packet -trace, then give him the IP, and you can see the packets. You have the IP address, you have the port, you have the time to leave, you have the ID. Okay. Next option, you can go for show host interfaces and routes. It's very useful. You go for Nmap. You can use it for debugging, as it's been mentioned by CyberCity. This is useful for debugging, like let's say Nmap list. Okay, so you can see your host, what are the routing addresses being set in your interface and the route. When you have IP table on your Linux, IP table also can change different routing, inbound and outbound, so you will see all of that here. Okay, another one is scan a specific port. Sometimes you have an exploit which is written for a specific application, and that application uses a specific port, so you want to look in your victim if this specific port is open or not. Otherwise you don't want to make any attack, because you don't have the weapon. You go for Nmap -p, small p, let's say We had 53 I think before. Port 53, and then the IP 192.168.1.1. Okay, yeah, he said this port is open. Another option is the fastest way to scan all your devices, computers, or upper ports. Okay, you can go for Nmap -capital T5 and give him the subnet. Usually it's 255 IP, so it's gonna take a long time, but this is the fastest way you can do. But fastest usually is not the best. So if you want have if you have a firewall in a network, if the network build configured by someone professional, or if you want get more accurate results, you can go for more accurate options. This is just the fast option. How can you detect a reboot operating system? So as we had before also, this one give you the operating system -O, big O, then the IP. Let me use my host IP, see if you can detect it. What did I put there? Okay, I don't remember my host IP. I need to see here. One, 2, 4, 1. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 1. So I'm telling you, my host type is a Windows 8.1. Let's see if you can find it. Usually they mention all the 8.1 and over 7 as a Windows 7. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, finally after like 3 minutes I got an answer. He says I'm using Windows, Microsoft Windows 7 or XP 7 Enterprise. Oh, this is the guess it's making, so it's one of this. Or Windows XP Service Pack 3 or Windows 7 Enterprise. Okay. Next I'm going to talk about is how to detect the remote services version number. You can go for Nmap -S capital V 192.168.1.1. Okay, it's gonna take time. Another option is very useful, is also related to the firewalls. Usually the firewall is blocking the ICMP protocol, which being used by ping. So if you want to bypass this problem, you can just go for using TCP acknowledge and TCP sync ping, which it doesn't need to make the three-way handshaking. So a simple TCP acknowledge or TCP sync is enough. So sometimes there's a firewall in the network, you cannot make the three-way hand, you cannot do the ping, the ICMP port is blocked, so you can just use this option. Nmap -capital B capital S, then your IP, or Nmap -capital P capital A. Let's say you want force your scanner to scan only for one protocol, a specific protocol. Let's say the protocol is using the UDP, because some firewalls blocking TCP protocol, so you can give him PU for UDP and give him the IP. So if the firewall is blocking TCP protocol, you can still use it for the UDP. Let's say you want search for which applications, which services on your victim are using UDP protocol. Usually the popular are always TCP for DNS, SNMP, DHCP. A lot of applications, they are using the TCP. Let's say you want to look for the applications which using UDP services. You can just go for -s U, capital U, which is for UDP, and then the IP. There is a interesting option nmap -f, small f. Go for this. Okay, this option using the idea of splitting the TCP header over several packets. So the TCP header will not be only in one or two packets, it will be a split in the different packets. So because of this splitting, it's difficult for the IDS or any packet filtering or intrusion detection systems to find that you are using Nmap for data gathering. So you can use this option -small f. Another interesting option, which is also very tricky, you can use it to fool the IDS, because when IDS trying to checking all the network activity, if they see anything suspicious, they will block it. But what if there are few IP addresses will doing same activity? The IDS cannot block everything, because otherwise, if it's a website, they might lose customer. So you can use this option, nmap -small n, and create some decoy -D. This can be your fake IP address 168.5, then another IP address, whatever, .3.1.2, then your own IP address, and at the end you will put your victim IP address. Let's say 192.168.1.1. So what the IDS in this victim operating system, victim computer we see, is few computers, which a lot of them, few IPs, which all of them are decoyed, they are innocent, are sending these packets. So he won't know which one is actually you and which one is a decoy. Sometimes the firewall, beside logging the IP address, also it is logging MAC address, and then they might blacklist your MAC address. So in the future, you cannot use your computer MAC address for making contact with that IP. So what you can do is spoof the MAC address. So simply for your Nmap, you can just do nmap -spoof -MAC address, and your MAC address here, something, then the IP of your victim. Let's say you are writing a script, and this Nmap, this data gathering, is one part of a bigger project. Maybe this is the result you want to send it for vulnerability scanning, then you want to send it for exploit, then you want to write this exploit. So the good option is to record the output. So what you can do is just nmap it. I use a simple option, the normal one, 192.168.1.1. So you say, after you got the result, send it to this file, 66.txt. So it will be in this path. So after he got the result, he will save it there. And you can give him the path if you want. You can just give him path -O capital N. You can give him the path, then the IP address. Okay. I know many people who don't like command prompt. They find it not friendly and complicated and scary. So maybe you use the Nmap, but in the graphical version, in the graphical environment. So all you need to do is just use the Nmap. So you just click Nmap, and this is, I didn't try it. I think it should include all the options. So you can just simply use the Nmap for your data gathering. But usually nobody, the professional penetration testers, they won't go for graphical because it's more time taking. It's easier if you remember all the options than going for clicking and all of this stuff. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Please leave your feedback so I can improve my work. Have a visit at my website, cybertech.academy. I hope it was useful for you. Have a very good day.